In this video, I'm going to explain about SEDs. SEDs are nothing but slowly changing dimensions in data engineering. This is one of the important concepts when you are working as a data engineer. And questions about SEDs implementation are often asked in interviews. Better you should know the clear understanding about it in order to crack the interviews in big tech. So in this video, I'm going to cover SED1 and SED2 type of scenario by using PySpark. And before that, you need to understand about it theoretically. SED1 type of scenario is like a absurd kind of operation. Consider you have one table. In that table, you have 4 columns like ID, name, state, age. And there are some existing data on that table already. When new record comes to the table, it will do the upset operation into the existing table based upon the primary keys. Here our primary key will be ID column. There are two types of scenario possibly happen in this scenario. When the primary key matches with the existing table, it will do the update on the existing records. And if it is not matches, it will insert the new record. This is the concept of upset. I hope you already know about this. So in SED1, this is the exact process it will happen. So look at my Databricks notebook. I already made a code for SED1 scenario. I have this dimension data variable. Here I added my records. Following up with, I created dimension columns. You can find the column information. And further, I created dimension table variable. This will do the data frame creation. So once the data frame is ready, we are loading that into this delta path. So this loading which we are doing is called initial loading. So let's wait for the loading to complete. Okay, now the initial loading has been done. Let's check our data. So we have two records here, ID1 and ID2, and if you drill through, I created another set of data frame which holds the information about the records which needs to be processed incrementally. These incremental records are bringing certain changes, especially the ID1 is already existing in our table, and here it is bringing some update on the state and age, and that is new ID is coming as incremental data also. So there are different ways to implement upset operation, but here I implemented by using merge statement in PySpark. Why? Because I already worked on the merge statement for a bit, and for me it is easy to implement the SED scenarios in merge statement. So we have two data frame right here. One is delta dimension table, which is our existing record, and another one is staging table, which is our incremental record. Look at my merge statement. I declared one condition here. If the dimension table ID and staging table ID, when it is matched, I am setting my staging table information to be overwritten with the dimension table. And when it is not matched, I am inserting my staging table information into a dimension table. As simple as that. Once we execute this, it will update the records in the existing table, which is residing in the delta path. In order to see the changes, I read the table from the delta path. So let's display our data. You can see here we successfully implemented the SED1 using merge statement. You can find our records are updated in the existing table. So this is easy, right? Let's move to the SED2 scenario. And if you see my code for initial loading for SED2, you can find a bit difference compared to SED1 code. It is nothing but I defined a schema structure for the data in the dimension table, and I created one additional function called toDate. It is used to convert my string data into date data type. Apart from that, everything is bit same. For implementing SED2, there are certain manipulations we need to do in our data. For example, here look at my schema. I created 3 columns such as effective date, end date, and active column. For implementing this SED2, these type of columns must need to be used to track the data movements. I will show you how it's been effectively used and its properties. So first one, the effective date. The effective date column is like, it should hold the information like which date this particular record is valid from, and the end date is like validation end date for the record. For finally, the active column, if there is no end date has been declared for that record, the active column should be true. If there is an end date for any record in the table, it should be flagged as false. Mostly the active column is like flag column. It will speak in Boolean data type. So this is the theory about the SED2. Let's see the implementation. Apart from these two steps, there are few changes we need to do, especially on the merge statement. Here the merge condition is a bit changed compared to the SED1 because we are having two sets of condition here. We need to check whether the ID is getting matched or not, and then the active flag is true or not. When these two conditions are matched, we are updating our end date column with our current date, and active column should be false. Apart from that, we are not making any changes in the actual data such as our main columns like ID, name, state and age. Why? Because in the SCD2 we don't do any overwriting in the existing table. Instead, we will append our new data into the existing table so that we can see the history of our existing records. To simplify this more, we will simply insert new records in our existing table. Whether it is update or insert in the incremental data, we don't do override in our existing data. Once you see the output, you will understand more clearly. Let me run this code. See our result here. Our incremental data brought two things. One is update for Alice and another one is a new record insertion for Charlie. For Charlie, it is very simple because all we need to do is insert only. And Alice, we have two records. One is old one which has effective date and end date are there. That means its validity has been closed. And we got new update for Alice that has been inserted into the table with new effective date. And it don't have any end date because it's our latest record. Tomorrow, any new records with update for Alice comes in the effective date and end date will get updated respectively. So this is how you should implement a SCD2 scenario. I hope you understand this concept. And one more thing, we need to set our writing modes here. For SCD1, I set my writing mode as override because I don't preserve history. And SCD2, I set my writing mode as append because we have to preserve history. This is the key difference between SCD1 and SCD2. So I hope you get the difference and clarity among SCD1 and SCD2. So thanks for watching this video. See you on the next video.